Just tell us, what were some of the challenges of getting this back to Vegas?
Vegas isn't as open as some of these other states are. And, everything's just starting to get rolling here. Restaurants opened this week. Gyms are opening today. And the casinos are going to open on the 4th. So, we're the first sport really coming back, and especially here in town. We have that's our facility next door, the Apex, which is basically our own arena. So, that's the safest place in the world for us to hold these events right now. We'll have half the staff that we normally have there, and everybody that's in the building will have been tested, and the list goes on and on. Plus, the 3 events that we did in Florida, I think, has made us smarter, more efficient, and now we're home and we can control a lot more here.
Dana, of all the major sports in this country, the UFC and MMA is the only one to come back. In certain respects, you have advantages, structural advantages. There aren't as many participants. In you, there's centralized control. It's not fragmented. And those are some of the reasons, I'm sure. Do you think there are others why the UFC is the only one we've seen on a world-class level since the outbreak?
Well, I think that everybody could do it. All of these different sports organizations could do it. The biggest problem is, you have a lot of different people in the mix, whether it's the league, then you have all the different owners with different opinions and different ideas on how things should be done. Here, one guy makes those decisions, and that's me. That's what makes it much easier, I think.
Yeah, given that you guys are the only major sport that is going to be putting on a performance this weekend, I think it's fair to ask what's happened in Minneapolis. A lot of athletes would be demonstrating or speaking out against this at their events, but you are going to be the only sport that has one. What is your response if one of your players chooses to kneel or have some sort of demonstration to reference the death or the murder of George Floyd?
Yeah, we let there's no national anthem or anything like that here, but we let our fighters speak their mind. Me and Jon Jones are going at it right now publicly, so it's not like we ever tell the fighters they can't. And listen, I think that as a country and as human beings, we're all mourning the death and what happened out in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Getting to the main event, Dana, we saw in the first major event, Gaethje, a hungry guy who was the trajectory of his career going in the right way, against the favorite, pull off the upset. We knew going in there were risks, of course, but still Gaethje won in an upset. Here you have, Woodley's his motivation's been questioned because he's been spread thin, or so the thought goes. And you have a young, up-and-coming guy trending in the right way, and like what we saw out of Gaethje, he's been more defensively responsible recently. Can you break down the fight for us?
Yeah, Max, you know this better than anybody, man. You got in Burns, the young, up-and-coming, hungry guy, and then you have Tyron Woodley, who's saying, I want to be looked at as one of the greatest ever. I want my belt back. I want to be the champ again. We're going to find out on Saturday night, because Burns has been on a tear since he's been back at 170. He's gone undefeated, 3-0. He's very aggressive. He will put that type of pressure on Tyron Woodley that will make Woodley fight. And Woodley has the power and the speed and the explosiveness to turn the lights out on anyone. Rogan and I talked last night at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were going crazy over how excited we are for this main event. This is a great main event with a guy who will push the former champion and make a really good fight out of this.
Dana, Conor McGregor has been pretty active lately on social media, calling out a few people: Oscar De La Hoya, Anderson Silva, Justin Gaethje. What's going on with Conor? What's next for him?
Well, I think all my guys have been locked up for too long. Everybody's going crazy on social media. We got to get these fights rolling again. I got to get the next 2 fights underway and get these guys back in the octagon. I think everybody's getting a little antsy. This quarantine's been going on for a while. Guys are ready to get back to work. People are ready to start performing again. So This is going on with the entire roster right now. And Conor, I think what's in Conor's best interest right now, stay in shape, be ready. Let's see how some of these fights play out and see what's next for him. I mean, the fight that I know he wants and the fight that should happen is the rematch with him and Khabib. So we'll see what happens with Gaethje, and if it ends up being Gaethje, then it's Conor and Gaethje. I think that's the smartest, best choice for Conor right now. He is always really good at reaching out to me and letting me know when he's ready and what he wants next. So when that happens, we'll figure it out.
Dana, can you get into the beef, the public feud with Jon Jones?
Yeah, it's one of the, he came out yesterday and said that I'm lying. What would I lie for? I mean, I'm sitting here telling you guys that Jon Jones, I think there's no debate. There's Jon Jones is the best ever. The sad part about the Jon Jones story is, while we're saying this guy's the GOAT, you still look at the potential and what Jon Jones could have been, had he done all the right things. And, the truth is the guy wants a ton of money. Apparently he doesn't think it's an obscene amount of money. He has a contract. He has a deal to fight. We always told him, if you want to move up to heavyweight, absolutely, we would make a new deal with you to move up to heavyweight. That was factored in when we just did his new deal. So let's say he said, you know what, we factored that in when we did the new deal, but I now want more money. Okay, John, what do you want? That's literally the way we've always dealt with Jon Jones. And, he's asking for an amount of money that it's not going to happen. And this happens a lot behind the scenes. I try to explain to fans, when you see, Twitter battles going on social media and like, oh, I'll fight him. Yeah, these guys say that, but behind the scenes is, yeah, I'll fight him for another $5 million or something. You know what I mean?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.